Okay, so the internet is on fire right now about Overwatch 2, and the biggest complaint is wait times. Now, if you played Overwatch 1 after like the 2 or 3 year mark, you know that wait times could get pretty bad. I remember sitting in a lobby with a full team for up to like 22 minutes just chatting before we found a game. Overwatch 2 is nowhere near that bad, but it's also got a massive player base in comparison to when I was playing it a couple of years ago. And yeah, the biggest issue for these increased wait times is no one wants to play support. So if you're watching this video, I'm sure you know that when you go into the game and you want to play Overwatch as intended, you go into role queue, and you either choose to be a tank, 2 DPSs, or 2 supports. And everyone wants to play DPS or tank. It also doesn't help the matter that there's only one tank now, so that if you get people who are tank mains and they only want to play tanks, they can only fit one of you in a game. Now, if you go online and look at tweets and messaging forums on this stuff, it gets pretty hypocritical, with a lot of people demanding that other people get off DPS and play support. When I'm 95% sure that the people complaining this also aren't playing support, they just think that they're better DPS than the other DPS, so they should be on DPS. But I've got news for you. If you are a DPS main in Overwatch, you don't know how good you are. I'm not saying you're bad, but I'm not saying you're good either. You don't know though. You don't know what you look like to your teammates. You don't know when healers are getting annoyed at you for running off, trying to get kills. You don't know when tanks get mad because you're shooting by the side of their shield, not behind their shield. And you might get really high damage every single game, but that doesn't matter when your healers keep getting flanked by the side of you and killed without you even knowing. But let's go back to the issue at hand. No one wants to play support. Why is that? Is support like inherently not as fun as the other roles? Some may argue yes, some will argue no. There are some really fun support characters to play. But it is a role where you are most reliant on your teammates. And it's a role that takes a lot more concentration and, dare I say, game knowledge than maybe not tank, but certainly than DPS. This was an issue in the beta, that we had long wait times because no one's picking support, and the idea would be that Kiriko, the new support legend, would come out and be fun to play and everyone would want to play support. But even with Kiriko out, and she is fun to play, there's still way more tanks and DPS, and I mean way more DPS. So if you want to play only support, it can get stale fast. It also doesn't help that people are very mean to support players in general. It's easy to blame them when things go wrong, it's easy to take them fully for granted. So when you get toxic players on your team, they tend to target healers hard when it comes to abusing people who they think aren't up to scratch. But I've got to say, the issue here isn't forcing people to play healers. You can't just be like, you play DPS every game, you need to play healers. It is a choice that people make. If people want to main one individual hero and never play anyone else, that's absolutely fine. The issue here is keeping support, the role, as viable, variable and fun as possible, and it's not there right now. It needs more heroes with variety of different play, and yeah, the community needs to stop being mean to healers in general. But I think those are the two things that are holding it back the most right now. If it was up to me, I wish there was a way that Overwatch could give out bad medals. Like it used to give out medals for good players, give out bad medals for bad individual moments, so that people can really see when they're going wrong. If a Winston jumps in, puts his bubble down, gets just out damaged by everyone there and complains that the healer wasn't with them, there should be a little medal there. Hell, a play of the game, but backwards, like the worst play of the game. And it literally shows the Winston jumping in when the healer's not even out of spawn yet. Because I think the biggest issue here is on DPS and tank players not being self-aware enough to know how to play with and around their healers, and that causing them frustration, which they then take out on healers. And the healers probably didn't want to heal in the first place, they were probably doing that just to get quick Qs, which everyone asked them to do, and they end up never wanting to play healers again, probably never wanting to play Overwatch again. How do you feel it? Do you think DPS people should get off DPS and play some healers for once? Or do you think Blizzard needs to change up how they have their healing characters right now, introducing more of them, making them more fun to play, making them more powerful so that, you know, they can actually stop a flanking Tracer more easily? I for one am sick of Genjis just double jumping over Reinhardt's head and then continually throwing shurikens into my face while the DPS just look forwards and ignore the whole thing completely. But yeah, let me know what you think and thank you for watching.